Days using soaks and tissue. I've seen myself wearing white denims and I've been actually saturated in blood. It's horrible. It's horrible. Knowing that you're bleeding and there's nothing you can do about it. I can't go out because it's just when I bleed, and I can't go out anywhere, and it's just a nightmare.
I will be fairly honest here. I've never thought that this matter is crucial until I read and discovered that our women are facing a burden that is challenging in their life. They deserve to be treated equally by providing their rights as women should be. Sad to say, we have not been able to tackle this issue far and wide. Period poverty is still an under-addressed issue. Period.
Hey.
Having menstruation is undoubtedly the most uncomfortable month for the majority of women. It comes with a lot of preparation and endurance, be it physically or mentally. Am I right, women? Although they are experiencing it most of the time in every month, it does not mean that they are ready for it. And in certain parts of their minds, they will say that, oh gosh, it's hard being a woman. The idea that I'm trying to say is that in some other parts of the world, women are having a hard time even purchasing sanitary pads that are considered part of their monthly necessity. In a low-cost housing area in Damansara, as you can see, you could find them borrowing pads from one another when the time came for them to have one. And at some other times, they were forced to use rags or old nappies instead of hygienic products like tampons to avoid their blood leaking. Ew, that's not healthy. It's absolutely correct. It sounds like they are being cheapskates. That's a big no. Now hear me out, buddies. In total, it is estimated that 500 million women lack access to menstrual products and adequate facilities for menstrual hygiene management. To make it clear, they are lack access to the products, lack access to the safe and clean facilities, and lack of affordable menstrual products. And as quoted by Dr. Fatima Al-Attas, a senior lecturer in sociology at RIUM, added that elements such as menstrual knowledge and education, as well as privacy to change pads, need to be addressed for the sake of the well-being of this community. As you have heard, period poverty goes beyond the financial limitation of a person. This kind of poverty is multidimensional in that it affects not only one's living standards, but it also affects one's education, health, and income. I'll give you one fine fact. When people are on the brink of desperation, right, what they will do will surprise you. Inaccessibility of menstrual products among low-income women has pushed them to resort to alternative products by using oh my god, it's so sad to even say this. They use coconut husk, tattered clothes, banana leaves, newspapers, and even pieces of cloth from rubbish bins. If you have heard of this saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure, that is how valuable the items are for these kind of people. They really need it. Oh yeah, did I mention that the period poverty also affects health? One research has confirmed that women who had experienced period poverty every month reported the most severe depression, followed by those who had ever experienced it in the past year, which I believe it's in 2020. Unmet basic needs could impact mental health. However, there is still little research on this. Well, health is health. If they're putting on unhygienic products, there's a high probability that they'll get infection, such as urinary tract infection, reproductive infection, and so on and so forth. In addition to that, if you are wondering why people in remote areas have more children than people in urban areas, I dare to say that one of the causes is period poverty. What? Isn't raising a child more expensive than buying the product itself? If you could ask. Oh, whoa, I totally get you, but you don't get them. The mothers of this kind of family usually resort to pregnancy as their final choice to avoid having to spend their hard-earned money on items other than food. You need to always remember that there are people out there who live a hand-to-mouth life. Their goal is to focus on a short-term goal that is to fill their stomachs and the families rather than a long-term goal. It's impossible for them to think of an investment if all they have is 1 ringgit, 2 ringgit, 3 ringgit to 5 ringgit daily to survive in a home of 3 to 4 to 5 people. If you continue to condemn them by saying that this is some sort of poor decision making, hey, hold on. Easy for you to say, speaking from a position of privilege. Folks, this is where empathy should come into play. To know that they are living in such a condition, we should be aware that their decisions are made on how to go by today and tomorrow instead of the future. Think and reflect. Just to mention how serious this problem is, period poverty also leads to school absenteeism. If you think that this matter only happens in underdeveloped countries, you are totally wrong. It happens in both wealthy and underdeveloped countries. The United Kingdom alone had 49% of dropouts who missed the entire school year due to this case. This is not something for you to take it for granted. However, with the voices that have already been heard, especially during these trial times, some countries managed to take on initiatives in order to combat this issue locally and internationally. Countries like Australia, Canada, and India have repealed the taxation on menstrual products. Scotland, for example, has passed a law where schools, universities, and local authorities are to provide menstrual products for free to those in need. Other than that, France has reduced sales tax on menstrual products. Malaysians, too, are taking actions in this regard. For example, Awam has collaborated with Kotex Malaysia and distributed 500 packs in the Don Kampung Tunku once a time. The Bunga Pets initiative, if you have ever heard about it, a reusable sanitary towel, is yet another brilliant idea from our sisters who have taken a huge step to educate girls on menstrual health and embrace the idea of women's empowerment. In our 2022 budget, also outlines a few efforts to eradicate period poverty and improve menstrual hygiene, such as aiming to provide personal hygiene kits every month to 130,000 low-income female teenagers and to subsidize mammogram screening and cervical screening. Period poverty is just like any other kind of poverty. It needs to be treated to avoid it from spreading further, as all of us has the capacity to do it as a caring society. It benefits the girls by teaching them about menstrual hygiene, and it benefits the boys by involving them in listening to and understanding our problem in order to reduce the stigma that people often place on us. This is the least that I could do. Spread the word, dodge the stigma, be curious, and lend your hand. That's all from me. Assalamu alaikum. And thank you for listening. Stay tuned for another episode. Bye!